Hello, people. Very happy to be here. Today we have a special edition. We are in Doha, Qatar, and we have Mr. Multazam that we make an interview with him. He will talk a little bit about customer experience program in Middle East. So, hello, Multazam. How are you?
First of all, thank you for having me. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. And to answer your question, so I'm Multazam Al Siddiqui. I'm basically a customer experience catalyst with over a decade of experience, from experience in different industries, ranging from automobile to flight to e-commerce to fintech, you name it. So I've had pretty vast experience, diverse experience when it comes to user experience, product design, service design, customer experience. So yeah, I mean, really short, right?
Great. I have several years working with different companies in CX programs, but most of them are from Latin America. So it's my first time here in Middle East. So I am a little bit curious about how is the CX programs here in other side of the world. So my first question is, ask you, where you born? If you are from Qatar or from other country, and the last year, if you work in different countries, tell me a little bit about that.
So I was born in Pakistan. I'm born and raised in Pakistan. I had my formal education in Pakistan. But after I discovered this field of experience of digital and hardware experiences, I started getting myself enrolled into online courses. And later I did my master's certification from Michigan University.
Right.
So my early education was in Pakistan. Then I studied in Michigan University for certification. And then I started working offshore in the US and Saudi. Then I had the opportunity to actually travel to be onshore. So my first country that I visited was Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah, I stayed there. I worked for, I think, 3-4 companies. And after that, I got a call from a finance company, a huge fintech company. And then they pulled me to Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
So after working for a few years in Abu Dhabi, I got a call again and I was pulled to Riyadh.
Oh.
Riyadh in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And I was working there and I thought, okay, now my life would be in Saudi Arabia. So after 2 years, I received a phone call. Hey, Multazam, would you be interested in working in Qatar? I said, okay, let's go to Qatar.
Yeah.
So now I'm in Qatar.
Okay.
So that's how I'm traveling the world. But I had small instances outside the work when I was doing freelance projects. So I've been to Bahrain. There's one Emiratos Ras Al Khaimah. I've been there. In fact, recently, last week, I was in Thailand.
Okay.
I was having some business discussion with the designer of Pagoda.
Okay.
I'm
You
getting
moved,
all this-
in the last 5 years, you move a lot. So interesting that perhaps you start in Pakistan, you move to Saudi Arabia, you be in Emirates, you be now in Qatar. But what about the CX market? I don't know, perhaps in your experience, you have some countries that are more advanced in the programs, and perhaps other a little bit behind. Tell me something about that.
Okay, so I would say if someone wants to learn CX from scratch, Middle East would be the best place to explore. Reason being, in Middle East, there are some countries that have explored CX.
Okay.
Some places are still exploring. Some phases don't even know.
Okay.
So depending on different regions, you can place yourself and that would be an advantage.
Okay.
Like, for example, when I was in Saudi Arabia a few years back, it was still in a development phase. Riyadh was in good condition. Dammam was in good condition. Internal architecture, infrastructure, with advancement, people adapting the technology. So people are aware of, okay, there's something called experience, something called user experience, not just web design, web pages.
Okay.
They have started exploring that experience is not limited to the digital world, but also it is something that user feels or customer feels. Saudi is something that is booming in that field. If you are already aware of CX, I would say go to Dubai because they've already conquered that. The customer experience and when traveling from Abu Dhabi to your any destination, that is amazing. I still love how seamless the process was. In fact, I was asking the through or the staff there that this is, I mean, I'm done, the boarding pass, everything it starts smooth.
Okay.
And if you want to learn how a giant or a country that is continuously busy with different events and all those things, so Doha would be the best place where you could actually experience how things work. And I would say if you want to experience how a small country deals with the experiences, how they manage it, I would say go to Bahrain, all respecting to each country to its customs. This is just my opinion, so so I don't want anyone to always think, why are you calling Bahrain to be smaller?
It is. I imagine that it's different in each country, but it's different in each industry.
Exactly.
I don't know, in Latin America, for instance, banks and insurance company are really more advanced in their programs, and perhaps other companies are more new. They are start to I remember that you mentioned that, for instance, some are in a booming that perhaps is really important moments for them. I think it's similar here and for different industries. But tell me a little bit about the CX metrics. Which CX metrics are the most common here in the Middle East?
So the common ones that I've experienced is NPS, Net Promoter Score, customer satisfaction is there, customer effort is there. I mean, these are the top three things I've found. But of course, I mean, these are basic for anyone to build customer 360 view. I think all the traditionals are there, but when it comes to experience or when it comes to a professional usage, it entirely depends on the person itself or the organization itself.
Okay.
Because these are tools, right? But you should know how to use them and when to use them and when to rely on them.
Yeah.
Because just simple scores will not give you the true qualitative measurement. These are some quantitative, qualitative, both mixed. But true experience is something that you actually aren't prepared for it. So randomly, just like for example, a few days ago, I was at the airport. I saw a kid asking their parents, or basically a father, that why do we always travel with this one particular airline? And the dad was like, son, because it's reliable. So this is how I get to know that, okay, what we are doing is actually worth what we're doing. And this is the result. And this communication, I haven't seen in NPS and all those scores. The metric doesn't catch these kind of things.
Yeah, it's comments.
Exactly. And this conversation happened with two individuals. And I was able to hear that because I was just standing behind them in the line.
Yeah.
So I would say, to me, in Middle East, all are there. But when it comes to organization, it depends. Like in my organization, we go beyond that.
Okay.
We use all the traditional, but even we try to apply even those that we have learned through the experiences that we are not aware of what to call them.
Okay.
But these are some experiences that we've learned, or ways that we've learned that are actually giving us amazing results.
Okay.
Hence why we are able to achieve different achievements and awards and all those things.
Nice. Which are the main channels to send service here? For instance, I don't know, email, SMS, WhatsApp, or in the web page. Which are the more common here in the Middle East?
SMS. SMS is very strong. I've seen it being very strong. Then I would say the second would be WhatsApp. Emails as well. But see, in Middle East, majority of the people that I've seen are usually coming from third world countries.
Okay.
They may not know, or they may not have access to emails.
Okay.
They may not have access to internet. I think in all the countries that I've been to, SMS was the key service or the key way to communicate with any user.
Nice.
Plus, I've seen SMS service here being so advanced in Middle East that depending on the person, they will send you your message in your regional language.
Okay.
Because people are coming from different regions. And within the same region, there are some different, for example, India.
Yeah.
After a few kilometers, the language changes. After a few kilometers, language changes again.
Yeah.
Within India, there's so many languages. Yet, I'm not sure how they're managing to do that. But when you come to Middle East, depending on your ethnicity or where you're coming from, you would receive a message in that.
Oh, I think it's a really challenger with design, because something good that we have in Latin America is that the whole continent speak only two languages, that is Spanish and Portuguese, and we are similar, we can understand each other. So I think it's very challenging. I don't know, in Middle East, perhaps have more than 100 dialects. So I think it's the challenger to this time. I don't know, perhaps for the airplane industry or some international industry, the different languages.
Not just languages, like you mentioned, dialects.
Yeah.
So Arabic has many dialects.
Yeah.
Qatari have a different dialect. Emirati have different dialect. Saudi has different, and not just these Egyptians, Sudani. Even though these are some of them are African countries, but they do speak Arabic, so their dialect is also different.
We don't need to deal with that in Latin America. It's very easy. I think I never think on that. Other thing that I want to ask you is, I know that the customer experience teams, we are really focused in which are the experience, how we can improve it. But what about the other parts of the companies? The business teams. I don't know, sales team or the product team. How you deal with that? How you engage the customer experience programs with the other teams?
For customer experience, I would say it's crucially important to understand that for anyone in this field, that you need to have soft skills. If you're if you're not good in communicating, if you're not good in expressing the need, why you want certain department to contribute, why you want certain organization, certain people to contribute with your plan, then the life could be hectic. Like for example, I would say, because I've worked in airport as well, so we have ground staff, we have immigration is government entity, and then there are different security departments, and there's kiosk, and there's lots and lots of departments. So when I was in my home country, and when we were trying to make the whole process easier, we had to talk to immigration. We make sure that person entering through the airport, everything is fine. There are guys to carry their luggages. There are ground service staff is there to help them, aid them, to assist them to different gates and whatnot. But after that, they would face immigration. And immigration officers are usually strict because they're very tough routine. They're very tough questions to ask. They're dealing with the criminal. They're dealing with the people who are blacklisted and so on. So because as a CX professional, and the reason I emphasize on having soft skill is because these are the skills you use to talk to them.
Yeah.
That we communicated that if we understand you have strict protocols because you do not want any terrorists in your country, you do not want any criminals to go out of the country, you don't want anyone to escape and all those things. At least you can have a smile. Mm-hmm. This is just one example. And this would made us gain users or the customers trust, because it was an opportunity, right? And CX is all about opportunities. We took that opportunity. Our score went high. Yes, they felt easy. Okay, these immigration officers are not monsters. They are human like us. They have duty. They are able. They can communicate. See, the thing in my home country or in any other country, any third world country, I would say, people come from different areas and they might not even speak the same language. When an officer asks, where is this document? They're afraid, I don't know if I have this document or not. Mm-hmm. Similarly, when ground staff asks, sir, where's the document? They're like, okay, they're asking, I don't understand, but they're asking me something nicely. Yeah. So this experience matters a lot. So I would say this would be the example of how different departments would contribute in creating the whole journey. Now I would give the example of Abu Dhabi. When I was traveling from Abu Dhabi to Sharjah, I believe. I'm not sure where I was flying, but I was flying from Abu Dhabi. My experience was very seamless. I entered the airport. The guy came, picked my luggage. I said, okay, who's there? He said, sir, don't worry, just follow me. I followed the guy. He had my luggage, everything. I said, I do not have cash. Well, I know, of course, how things work. I said, no worry. Our job is to provide you assistance. We are providing you assistance. He took me to the poster. I talked to the guy, like, he did everything digitally. He said, okay, sir, you can go now. I said, where's the boarding pass? Where's the boarding pass? Yeah. Where's the document? Yeah. So he asked me, sir, do you want boarding pass? I said, If the other place isn't asking me, I don't need it. It's all digital. We have your passport data.
Yeah.
We have everything.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So this was the first time I experienced you do not need to carry a paper around with you.
Okay.
And from that point onward, when I traveled to Pakistan, when I traveled to Thailand, any country of the Middle East, I never take any paper documents. Everything is in my cell phone. But that taught me that it could be so seamless. Because Abu Dhabi is also having immigration. Every country is having immigration. But how they're dealing with it, that's what creates the user experience.
Yeah. It's a really huge diversity. The name of this podcast is Stories on CX. What about if I ask you, I don't know if you remember funny story or something that you remember in this last year. What do you think is this story that you say, okay, I remember that this moment that's happened something?
Yes. So last year we faced an event, and I believe no matter how much prepared we would have been, how much advance notices we would have gotten, there is no way you could prepare for war.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we were not part of the war, we are not soldiers or anything, we're just civilians working in office. But the panic it creates, the chaos it creates, the fear it creates among the colleagues, among the staff, among the customers, it's something you cannot control. And it's by the book, we tried everything by the book, we tried everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. When these kind of situation happen, there is no way to predict how to. The solution of this was, again, going back to the previous question you asked, how different department roles. So each department stepped in, that everyone was focusing on calming down the customers. It's okay, it's fine, because every customer wanted to either leave the country or want to get away from the area because there was the war thing happening in this region. But that actually taught us all the tests, all the assumptions we do while creating the experience. When tough time comes, are they even stable enough to hold their place, or they would just all bookish knowledge and wiped off when the real thing happens? In that situation, one thing we also saw that if the CX professional is flexible, if they know, okay, if things are not going by the book, you need to go step outside, you need to think creatively, you need to just use your other skill set, you need to overcome the situation. And that situation is very serious. It's not like, okay, it's just an update, I'll just change the button of tomorrow. Or maybe it's just one kiosk machine, I'll change the machine tomorrow. It's right here, right now, you need to come up with a solution. So I think there's one thing I remember from Bruce Lee, be like water. You pour it in jug, it takes shape of jug. You pour it in glass, it takes shape of a glass. So I think flexibility and soft skill is something that makes a CX professional.
Yeah, really interesting. I am thinking what you mentioned about the war, in the region. I don't know. For us, I think we are lucky because in Latin America it's not very normal for long years. You have issues like every place in the world, but no like Middle East that you have a lot of issues here. So I think what you mentioned, that you should be flexible, because until when these moments appear, I think perhaps the client starts to be a little bit crazy or very nervous. The people in the front line, the people that talk with the client, perhaps start to be frozen. So really interesting to be flexible, until this situation. And for finish, I want to ask you if you can share, one message to the CX community. What is important in the CX program for you? What do you think? What will be this message?
There's one thing I tell my mentees and my juniors. I would say that CX is not a project. It is a promise. On every touch point, you will see an opportunity. You either take that opportunity, you win the trust of customers, or you lose it. Very simple. You either make it or you break it, kind of scenario. My message would be pretty much straightforward and simple. Keep human at the heart of metrics. as long as human is there in any metric that you're having, whether not only in CX but as the UX, as UI as well, if human touch is there, regardless of how advanced technology get, regardless of how AI advancement is there, people will always remember how you make them feel.
Uh-huh.
They will not remember what technology you used, what metrics you used, what colors were there, and if it's a UI, if what principles you use, what hardware you use, whatever you use. They would only remember how you made them feel.
Yeah, the empathy.
Yeah.
The empathy. I think this is so interesting because this is common for the all human. It's not for one region or the other region. The empathy, I think, is the future.
I think that is the way to go. I mean, that is the region where AI cannot mimic, at least for now.
There is one more. Hope so. Yeah, really interesting. Okay, thank you, Multazam. Very, very nice to be here with you.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.